So, Drg-Drishya-Viveka is a common name for this text. What do you mean common name? Do you have any special name for this book? Some texts become well known by some other names. For example, Bhajagovindam. Usually people do not know the actual name for the text is Mohamudgara. Bhajagovindam is well known. We also call it Bhajagovindam only, is it not? Very rarely we say Mohamudgara. In the same way, the common name for this text is Drg-Drishya-Viveka. And the actual name for it is Vakya Sudha. The expression Drg-Drishya-Viveka means differentiation between the Drig and the Dṛśya. Drig is seer, Dṛśya is seen. So differentiating the seer and the seen. The author adopts this methodology to bring to our attention the self. And since this methodology is very beautifully explained in this text, therefore the text has come to be called Drg-Drishya-Viveka. That is how this text gets this name. So when you say actual name, then Vakya Sudha, when you say, what is that name then? Sudha means nectar. Ambrosia. Nectar. Nectar is always the essence. So you take a flower, then the nectar is at the very core of the flower. Very core, rather than the essence, we can say core. In the same way, what is the very essence or the very core teaching of Vedanta? That is a Mahavakya. Now, this is the nectar of the Mahavakyas. And you know that all Mahavakyas deal with one single topic, and that is Jiva Brahmaikya. So this is the nectar of the Mahavakyas. So this gives the core teaching of the Mahavakya. Well, every Vedanta text is finally teaching only Mahavakya. Because Mahavakya is the message of Vedanta. And therefore, students have decided collectively, we will call this text Drg-Drishya-Viveka. Whether students have called it Drg-Drishya-Viveka or in the passage of time, this becomes known as Drg-Drishya-Viveka, is all some things which we can speculate upon. The text is Vakya Sudha, commonly known as Drg-Drishya-Viveka. And every text usually starts in the tradition with the Mangalacharana. If it is an Upanishad, then you have the Shanti Mantra, which functioned like Mangalacharana. When you go to these text Prakarana Granthas, the author renders the Mangalacharana. Mangalacharana is of three types. One is Vastu Nirdesha Rupa. Vastu Nirdesha Rupa. Vastu is the reality. Vastu is the essence. Vastu is what is sought to be propounded or expounded. And Nirdesha is what indicates, what states, what delineates. Nirdesha. So, Vastu Nirdesha Rupa. Rupa is of the form. So, Mangalacharana can be of the form of expressing the ultimate teaching or ultimate reality. So, that is one form of Mangalacharana. Another form of Mangalacharana is Ishta Devata Namaskara Rupa. Ishta Devata Namaskara Rupa. Namaskara is offering prostrations or salutations. So Mangalacharana, which is of the nature of prostrating to the deity of one's worship. So you worship Bhagavan Rama or Sri Krishna or Devi or Ganapati, like that. So the author can, before the text, the author can offer his or her prostrations unto the deity of one's worship. It is called as Ishta Devata Namaskara, salutations. So, Ishta Devata Namaskara Rupa Mangala. The second type of Mangalacharana. The third type is Ashirvada Rupa. Ashirvada. Ashirvada is the teacher blessing the writer, blessing the readers. Or invoking God's grace and blessings for the students, who are of course going to read the book. So you have these three kinds of Mangalas, three kinds of Mangalacharana. What is Mangalacharana? What are the three types? Vastu Nirdesha Rupa, Ishta Devata Namaskara Rupa, and third one, Ashirvada Rupa. Everywhere Rupa means of the nature, of this type. You can say nature, type, that is the meaning of the word Rupa here. So here also you have the author prefixing or starting the text with a Mangalacharana. And in that Mangalacharana, he brings to our attention Sakshi. the Chaitanya, which is sought to be explained in this text, the self. And therefore, this verse, whatever we are going to read, that becomes what is termed as Vastu Nirdesha Rupa Mangalacharana. So this much about Mangalacharana. Now, I already mentioned to you the methodology used here to bring to our attention this consciousness, the Sakshi, is Drg-Drishya-Viveka. Drg-Drishya-Viveka follows the methodology of Shaka-Chandra-Nyaya. Shaka-Chandra-Nyaya. The word Nyaya has got many meanings. Nyaya can mean logic or reasoning. Nyaya can also mean simile. Nyaya can also mean method. So here, the Shaka-Chandra-Nyaya, when we say, we are referring to the method. Drg-Drishya-Viveka uses this method. Well, you'll always find this method is so commonly used in Vedanta to bring your attention to the subtle. Even when you say, first of all, what is Shaka-Chandra-Nyaya? Chandra is the moon, is it not? And here we refer to the third day moon. So how is that moon? Very thin. I'm sure you all must have seen the third day moon. It's a very beautiful. It's there in Lord Shiva's. Yeah, crescent. So beautiful. So the third day moon. Of course, the fourth day moon is more visible. And the fourth day moon is also very, very beautiful. And especially Vinayaka Chaturthi day, it stands right there. Right. And they say you should not see and all they say. But you cannot but admire when you look. How beautiful. So, when the third day moon is such a very thin crescent, and you cannot immediately see, where it is and all. So, there is a method people adopt to show you that moon. So, they show you a distant tree first. Do you see the tree there? Yes. Now, from the tree, they take you to the top branch or the side branch. One branch they show you. So, from tree you go to branch. And from the branch, they show you, go to the top of the branch and you can see there the tip leaf. Do you see that leaf there? So, from tree, they took you to branch. And from branch, they took you to that, that, what do you call this? The twigs which come. And from there, they show you that leaf. And then they tell, look above. And suddenly you can see that crescent moon. So what is this methodology? From the gross, you take someone to the subtle. The mind cannot immediately see the subtle, and therefore what you do, you train that mind to go from gross to subtle, and gross, then subtle, then subtler, then subtlest. So this is called as the methodology of Shaka-Chandra-Nyaya. Shaka is branch. Chandra is the moon. So the methodology of Shaka-Chandra-Nyaya. In other words, the pedagogy, as they say, is from the known to the unknown. Known to the unknown. Learning is always from the known to the unknown. Knowledge is always that, from the known to the unknown. So here, in Drg-Drishya-Viveka, first they will tell you, this is the Drig, seer. And slowly take you to the subtlest, which is the Sakshi. Now, when you say Mahavakya, the Mahavakya deals with the identity of the self with the Supreme. And therefore, to identify the self with the Supreme, first you need to come to the self. It's Jiva Brahma Aikya. So you have to see what is the truth of that Jiva. And therefore, even though this text deals with Mahavakya entirely, the entire Mahavakya's message, its primary focus is on the Tvam-pada. You know, Mahavakya has got these three components. One is Tat-pada, another is Tvam-pada, another is Asi-pada. Three words. Tat refers to Ishvara, Tvam refers to individual, and Asi is the identity. So the identity of the self with Brahman is the message of the Mahavakya. But what is very, very important is to identify the self. Only when you identify the self can the Mahavakya function, can work. Ultimate reality, one can say, is Satyam Jnanam Anantam or Satchidananda. That could be the ultimate reality, but you have to identify the self as ultimate reality. So however much you study what is the ultimate reality, if you don't identify the self, how will Mahavakya work? And therefore, the importance of determining what is the Tvam-pada. Any sentence can be understood if the words, what they indicate, is understood. The most subtlest here is finding the self. Why do you say most subtlest is finding the self? Because the ultimate reality is what you can know with experiencing ultimate reality. But the ultimate reality is to be known as oneself. And therefore, only when you identify the self, the Mahavakya can ever function. And that is why a lot of importance is given to Atma Vichara. And that is why this knowledge is also called as Adhyatma Vidya. It is self-knowledge. So the entire Vedanta Shastra ultimately becomes self-knowledge or Adhyatma Vidya. Bhagavan Sri Krishna also would call, among all knowledge, I am the Adhyatma Vidya. And therefore, the author in this text, even though there is an analysis of Tat-pada also, but the priority or the predominant analysis here is about the Tvam Padartha. Tvam, you. Tvam Pada, the word you. Tvam Padartha, what is indicated by the word you. padartha. What is denoted by the word you? And this text does a very brilliant job of focusing on Tvampada and giving you enormous clarity about the self. All right. So, what all we saw? We saw Mangalacharana, different types. Vastu Nirdesha Rupa Mangalacharana, right? And then the methodology of the text, Shaka Chandra Knyaya, going from the known to the unknown, from the gross to the subtlest methodology. Right? And the focus of this text being Tvampada Vichara, or coming to the nature of the Tvampada, which we say as Tvampada Shodhana. Tvam Padartha is better. Padartha Shodhana. Tvam Padartha Shodhana. What is Shodhana? Shodhana is purification. Shodhana is analysis. These are the two. You can translate Shodhana is analysis, Shodhana is purification. So, you purify your understanding of the self and come to its real nature through the enquiry or the differentiation between the seer and the seen. Why should you differentiate the seer and the seen? Because self is a seer. Seen is the world. So you want to come to your nature of the self, what you do? You differentiate from the seen, that's all. So with this introduction, should we move forward? Who is the author of this text? The author of this text will be written as Sri Sankaracharya. Okay. Well, in the tradition, anybody who adorns the Peter of the four matas, right? The four matas established by Sri Sankaracharya, all of them come to be known by Sankaracharya. So, when you say it is written by Sankaracharya, then people ask the question, which Sankaracharya? Adi Sankaracharya? Like that. Well, about this text there is a diverse opinion about who has authored this text. When you look at the style of writing, it doesn't appear to be Sankaracharya. I mean, it doesn't appear to be Adi Sankaracharya. Whose style it looks? Then, there's one very great Sankaracharya of the Sringeri Matha, and who has written some excellent texts, Panchadashi. Now, the text looks to be of that style. Those who have studied Panchadashi can immediately see, this looks like Panchadashi. And Vidyaranya is the author of Panchadashi. And therefore, many consider this is written by Swami Vidyaranya. But Vidyaranya also is very interesting, Vidyaranya's works. For example, Panchadashi is not fully written by Swami Vidyaranya. Vidyaranya's guru, Vidyatirtha, Vidyatirtha Bharati Tirtha. Vidyaranya's guru is Bharati Tirtha. Vidyatirtha also. Bharati Tirtha is his immediate guru and Vidyatirtha is his guru's guru. And Vidyaranya had studied with both of them. And interestingly, Swami Vidyaranya's style of writing and his guru's style of writing is exactly the same. So to say, Panchadashi, even though is said to be written by Swami Vidyaranya, yet many chapters of Panchadashi are written by his guru, Bharati Tirtha. The style is so similar, both of them. And therefore, whenever any works of Swami Vidyaranya is said, people are look little more. Who wrote it? Swami Vidyaranya or his guru wrote it? Like that. And the beauty of all these people, they don't say they have written it. Many times what they do is that they write something and put their guru's name there. Why? Because the knowledge is not theirs. Knowledge belongs to guru only. And they put the guru's name. You find in Advaita tradition is very, very common. It has to be so. Because the knowledge does not belong to you. It's only the guru who has given the knowledge. There's a great commentary on Brahma Sutra, Shankara Bhashya, called Ratna Prabha. So the author of Ratna Prabha put his guru's name there. So like that, it's so common. In some Sanskrit commentaries, when you go through commentary for the Drg-Drishya-Viveka, they very clearly state it is written by Bharati Tirtha. So you can understand the complexity in determining the authorship. These are very interesting facts for historians, but for students of Vedanta it matters not. Because what finally matters is the knowledge. And the knowledge belongs to the same tradition of Advaita. So whether you say it is authored by Sri Sankaracharya, whether you say it's authored by Swami Vidyaranya, or whether you say it's authored by Sri Bharati Tirtha, these things are immaterial for a student of Vedanta. We may say it is immaterial, but historians do not consider these immaterial. They put their attention and energy and go into hair-splitting details on this. Those who like to do that can do that. There is no harm. But what is more important is the knowledge. Well, with this let's move forward. We go to the first verse. Rupam drishyam lochanam drik tadrishyam driktu manasam Dṛśyadhi vrittaya sakshi Drg natu drishyate. Together. Rupam drishyam lochanam drik natu drishyate. Rupam drishyam lochanam drik. Very, very simple Sanskrit. Rupam drishyam. Lochanam Drig. Rupam, form. When you say form, you mean also color. Form and color. So form and color meaning objects. The form, that is Dṛśyam. It is seen. So you are dividing into two categories. One is Dṛśya, another is Drig. Two categories. And then you are saying, from your experience you are saying, from the known to the unknown you are going, so what is the basic understanding? The form is seen, the I is the seer. Lochanam Drig. The form is outside, the I is inside. The self is not outside, the self is inside. We feel the self is inside, is it not? I am. And that is the world. And that is why the self is called Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma, inner self. The inner self and the outer world. Bahya prapancha, the word is used. For Atman, Pratyagatma. And for the world, Bahya prapancha. And that captures our understanding about the world and the self also. The world is outside, the self is inside. So when I try to, when I wordify my experience, when I put into words my experience, I say, the form is seen and the seer is the I. Rupam Dṛśyam, Lochanam Drig. Drig bhavati. Right? Next. Is the I the seer always? No. Tad-Dṛśyam. The I is also seen. Tad-Dṛśyam. Drik-tu manasam. The mind is the seer. You're going deeper. The form is seen, the I is the seer. Tad-Dṛśyam. Tad-Dṛśyam means what? Lochanam Dṛśyam. The I is seen. Seen by whom? Anything which is seen will require a seer. Drik-tu manasam. The mind is the seer. Drik-tu manasam. All right. So now you have gone from the I to the mind. Earlier the form was the seen, the I is a seer. Now what has happened to the I? I lost its status of being the seer and it became the seen. Now who has gained the status of the seer? Mind. Drik-tu manasam. Dṛśyaha dhivrittayaha. And what is mind? Mind is nothing but thoughts. Dṛśyaha dhivrittayaha. Dhivrittayaha, the thoughts of the mind. They are what? When you say mind is the seer of the eye, now take the mind. Mind also is what? Is a seen. Why? Dhivrittayaha, the thoughts of the mind, they are all seen. So mind which was so far holding the status of the seer, now what has happened to the mind? Mind has become the seen. Now Dṛśyaha Dhivrittayaha. Then if the mind is seen, then there has to be the seer of the mind. What is that? Sakshi, Drig. Sakshi, Drig. All right. When you say Sakshi, Drig, that which is seeing, the Sakshi is the seer. And then he goes on to say, Sakshi Drig Eva. What do you mean Sakshi Drig Eva? Everything else, for example, I was the seer for some time. And then when you further analyzed, you found I is also seen. Mind became the seer. Now when you analyze a little bit, you find mind also is the seen. Then finally you are coming to Sakshi. Now, does the same thing apply? The Sakshi also becomes the seen? No. Sakshi Drig Eva. Sakshi is the seer alone. So when you say Sakshi is a seer alone, what do you mean? It never becomes the seen. Sakshi remains ever the Drik and never the Drishya. Sakshi Drig Eva. Yes, but he wants to emphasize it further. And then therefore he says, Natu Drishyate. And never it is the seen. So now you see what is the gradation of the seer and the seen. Rupam Drishyam. Then Lochanam Drik. Lochanam Drishyam. Manasam Drik. Then mind also. Manasam Drishyam. Sakshi Drik. It stops there. You cannot say, one more you cannot say, Sakshi Drishyam. No. Sakshi Drigeva. Natu Drishyate. Never is it seen. Now what is this, Swamiji? It's too brief, Swamiji, we need explanation. This verse is Vastu Sangraha Vakya. You know this Vastu Sangraha Vakya, right? What is Vastu Sangraha Vakya? Summary statement which is going to be expanded. Now every bit of this he is going to explain himself. Now what is that he is going to explain first? Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik now is going to be taken for further analysis. Okay? So the first pada is going to be taken. What is the meaning of pada? Pada means quarter, first quarter. And what is the first quarter of this verse? Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik. Second quarter, Tadrishyam Driktu Manasam. Third quarter, Drishdi Vrittaya Sakshi. Fourth, Drge Vanatu Drishyate. So now first quarter is going to be expanded. Alright? Now let us see. Nila Pita Sthula Sukshma Hrasva Dirgadi Bhedataha Nana Vidhani Rupani Pashyelochaname Kadha Nilapita Sthula Sukshma Hrasva Dirgadi Bhedataha Nana Vidhani Rupani Pashyelochaname Kada. You can use this kind of text for improving your Sanskrit vocabulary. Very simple. Neela, what is Neela? Blue. Remember, in Sanskrit when we say Neela, it is blue as well as black. Neela. Okay? Pita, yellow. So Samji, yellow also means white? No. Yellow is yellow. Neela Pita. Neela Pita. So what is he covering by this? Neela Pita is covering colors. Neela Pita. Next you see. Stula Sukshma. Stula is large. Sukshma is small. So Stula Sukshma. So he's talking of those things in the x-axis. Is it not? Next you see. Hrasva Dirga. Hrasva is short. Dirga is tall. Now this becomes what? Y-axis. Neela Pita, color. Said Rupam Drishyam, yet said, is it not? Now we are explaining Rupam. So when he says Rupa, what he means is all these. Rupa includes color. Rupa includes form. And in form, those whose measurements are in the x-axis and those whose structure measurements are all in the y-axis. Neela Pita, Stula Sukshma, Hrasva Dirga. Has he exhausted everything? Impossible to exhaust. Hrasva Dirga Adi Bhedataha. Keep this as the starting point and then you add. Some of them are spherical shapes. Some colors are so difficult to recognize. And they give very different names also to that. Is that not? Beige. Beige. Some, oh, and they're very beautiful. Different colors. It's not pink, it's not red. Lot of colors. Colors are so beautiful. And you look at the sky sometimes, that color amazing. Especially, sunset and all. Right, that's not the point. Neela Pita. Stula Sukshma. Adi Bhedataha. You take parallelogram. So many things are there. Spherical, then cuboid. What else is there? Cone shapes. So many. And some of them don't come into any of these shapes. Tree is standing like that. All kinds of shapes. Branches everywhere. Neela, Pita, Stula, Sukshma, Hrasva, Dirga, Adi Bhedataha. Nana vidhani rupani. The Dṛśya, when we say Rupam is Dṛśyam, how is the Rupam? Nana vidhani. So many varieties. Alright. To see each different variety, do you have different eyes? Nila, Pita, one eye I use. Hrasva, Dirga, another eye I use. Rupa are many, but the seer is one. The seen are many, the seer is one. Pashyet lochanam, the eye. And you all know in Vedanta when we say eye, we are referring not to the physical eyes, we are referring to the faculty which is one. And that is why lochanam, singular. Nana vidhani rupani, but lochanam ekam. The seen are many, the seer is one. Not only that, well, the different seen is there and the seer is one, but then the seer does not change according to the seen. When you see Neela, blue, it is not that the eye becomes blue, or it is not that the eye becomes yellow. So you sometimes something very small is there. You may put your eyes like this, but then the faculty of perception does not become small or big. Hrasva, Dirga, it also does not. Lochanam being one, Pashyet lochanam, ekam lochanam, Pashyet lochanam, then what? Ekadha. It is not ekadha, it is ekadha. Can you see that? Ekada, no, ekadha. Ekadha means what? Remaining the same, without undergoing any change. Ekada is there, Usually all stories will start with ekada, at once upon a time. Ekada, sarvada, always. Now that is a different da. That is the third one. Ta, ta, da. This is what? Ta, ta, da, dha. This is the fourth one. So ekadha means what? Remaining the same. Right? So the seen, the rupam are many, but the I is one. The seer is one, and the seer does not change according to the seen. That is also indicated. The seer does not modify according to the seen. The seer remaining kind of changeless sees the change. Nilapita sthula sukshma hrasva dirgadhibhedatah nana vidhani rupani pashyel lochaname kadha. Right? So what did you understand? He's explaining seer seen. Right? Because why? We want to see the seer. Because seer is the self. And then in the process of discovery, self-discovery, is taking you from the gross to the subtle. The world that you see, the seer. Who is the seer of all the various forms? Colors, that is the eye. The eye is one, the seen is many. And also, the eye is changeless, even as it sees various colors and forms. Now you start thinking, do you get any kind of comprehension of the seer and the seen? Are there some generalizations you can arrive from this analysis? Are there some specific laws you can cull out? Give a thought. Just started, that's all. Next he will explain with respect to the mind. Then slowly thought becomes richer and richer and deeper. This style, you'll just see, this style is very different from the style of Sri Sankaracharya. Whether you see Atma-bodha, whether you see Viveka Chudamani, the style is very different. Swami Vidyaranya's style is step-by-step progress of thought. That is the hallmark of Swami Vidyaranya as well as his Guru, Bharati Tirtha. The Panchadashi style. As it goes also, you will see more and more how he takes every point and he will show you. Did you see that? Did you see this? We'll take it up. One of the most methodical texts.